Girls, now let us see the differences between the direct tax and indirect tax. That means the comparison chart of direct and the indirect taxes. We are going to compare the direct and indirect tax under 8 headings. The first one is meaning, second one nature, third incidence and impact, fourth tax base, fifth one evasion, sixth inflation, seventh imposition and collection, eighth burden. First one mean. What is the meaning for direct tax? It is refers to the tax which levied on the person's income or wealth, isn't it? The direct tax is only imposed on the person's income or property, that means wealth. But in the indirect taxes, it is levied on the person who consume the goods and services, isn't it? Direct taxes imposed on the income and wealth, that means property. But indirect tax, it is levied on the consumed goods, the consumer who consumed goods and services. For those, they are imposing the indirect tax. And nature, second one. Income tax is progressive nature. I already told you, if your income increases, your tax also increase. If your property increase, the tax also increase. But it is in a regressive. While we are studying about the demerits of indirect tax, we studied. It is in a regressive. Demerits of indirect taxes we studied. It is in a regressive nature. That means one who is buying more, consuming more, paying less tax. One who is consuming very little amount, they will pay more. That is regressive. And incidence and impact. That means whom we are imposing and whom is paying. That is incident and impact. யார் மேலே போடுறோம், யார் செலுத்துறாங்க. Who is paying, to whom we are imposing, whom they are paying. It will be in the same person. இல்லையா? Income tax. யார் மேலே போடுறோமோ, யாருக்கு வரி போடுறாங்களோ அவங்களே செலுத்திடுவாங்க. But it is shifted to the consumers, isn't it? If the wholesale, if they impose tax on the wholesale dealer or the manufacturer, they will shift the tax to the consumers. At last, we are only paying the tax because they include the tax in the price. Ultimately, the consumer is consuming the goods, so he is paying the tax. So, the incidence and impact on the same person, it is in the different person. It is shifted. We can write it falls on different person. The same person is not paying the indirect tax, isn't it? Direct tax, same person. If I am earning more, I have to pay the tax. So, incident and impact is there on with me only. But on the other hand, indirect tax, it is on different person. Tax, the next one is tax base. It is based on the income and wealth, isn't it? I already told you in India, the income which is not exceeded 5 lakhs per annum, no need to pay the tax. If it exceeds 5 lakhs per annum, they have to pay the income tax. So, it has a accesses. But here, purchase, manufacturer of the goods and provision of services. So, the tax base is based on the purchase of goods and services, isn't it? If we buy more, we have to pay more. If we buy less, we have to pay less. So, purchase of goods and services. It is based on the purchase of goods and services. Evasion. Here tax evasion is possible. I can escape by from paying the income tax. How can I escape? I cannot show the correct account, isn't it? So tax evasion is possible in direct tax. Instead of showing the wealth, I can hide some wealth, or else I can divide my wealth into my family members. By dividing the wealth, I can escape from paying the tax. So tax evasion is possible in direct tax. Here it is not possible. Why? Because it is added in the price. So nobody can escape from paying the indirect tax. So tax evasion is possible here. It is not at all possible. Inflation, direct tax control the inflation, isn't it? While we study the monetary economics, I told you. By imposing tax, we can collect the additional money, excess money from the public. So, direct tax control the inflation. On the other hand, it push up the inflation. Why? If they impose the tax amount on the price, there will be a rise in the price, isn't it? Steady increase in the price is called inflation. So it control the inflation. It push up the inflation. Imposition and collection. Direct taxes, collection, it is individual, HAF, company and firm. It is collected from whom they are collecting? They are collecting from the individuals, firm and others, isn't it? Firms, individuals, they are paying. Here, the consumers are paying. That means the imposed and collected from the consumer of goods but paid and deposited by the assessee. So it is imposed on consumers. Burden cannot be shifted. It cannot be shifted, isn't it? But it can be shifted. We cannot escape from paying the direct tax, but we can escape from paying the indirect tax. So it cannot be shifted. The burden cannot be shifted because the incident and impact on the same person. It can be shifted because the incident and impact is on different person. So these are the 8 comparison or differences of direct and indirect tax. The next one we are going to see GST, that is Goods and Service Tax, which is very famous nowadays, well known to everybody, which is very popular nowadays. GST, Goods and Service Tax. So, it is an indirect tax, replaced many indirect taxes. It is also one of the indirect tax. We are paying GST means it is also one of the indirect tax. It has replaced many indirect taxes which have existed in India previous years. இல்லையா? இதுக்கு முன்னாடி இருந்த நிறைய மறைமுக வரிகள் எல்லாத்தையும் மாத்திட்டு தான் இப்போ ஒரே வரி single tax, indirect taxes come into existence, that is Goods and Service Tax. When it came into existence, the act was passed in Parliament at 29th March 2017. Recent years only. The Pradhamar Modi ji only brings the GST. So, it was passed in the Parliament on 29th March 2017. But it came into existence, that means executed in the month of July. This is an act. This is executed. Come into work. That is executed on July 2017. What type of a nature of GST? What is the nature of GST? It is comprehensive. It explains, it concludes many things. It contains many things. That is comprehensive. Multi-stage. Okay. Multi-stage. And then destination based. And which means the tax is levied on every value addition. Okay. So, what is the nature of GST? It is comprehensive, multi-stage and destination based. In simple words, it is an indirect tax levied on the supply of goods and services. It has replaced many indirect taxes in India. It is one of the indirect tax for the entire country, isn't it? The whole India, only one GST is there. So it is only one indirect tax for the entire country, a complete country. And then under this GST regime, it will be levied at the final point of sale. So in case of intrastate sales, general GST and state GST will be charged. Inter-sale, it will be chargeable to integrated GST. Intra means outside of the state. Inter means inside of the state. So next we will see the destination based. Intra tax means, intra GST means central plus state. Inter means only state. Okay. And then if it is a destination, that just consider the goods are manufactured in Tamil Nadu and are sold to the final consumer in Karnataka. This is an example they have given. The producer A, he produced goods in Tamil Nadu. But it is sold at Karnataka. The taxes, GST taxes paid on the final goods. The tax levied on the final goods is called GST. So GST will be levied only on final goods. So this GST tax will be collected in Karnataka. So the income will go to Karnataka. Do you understand, girls? So this is a destination base. That means if a producer is produced goods in Tamil Nadu and it is the final consumer is Karnataka, the goods and services tax levied at the point of consumption, that means in Karnataka, and the revenue will go to Karnataka, not for Tamil Nadu. So it is a destination based. In the same way, if there is a good produced in Karnataka and sold at Tamil Nadu, we will get income. Do you understand? So this is destination based. And the next one, we are going to see the components of GST. What are the things there inside? Components of GST. The first one is, there are three types of components in GST. First one, CGST. C refers to central. Central Goods and Service Tax. Central Goods and Service Tax. It is collected by the central government on an intrastate sale. For example, within the state and union territory. SGST, that is state. State GST. This is also intrastate, within state and union territory. It is collected by central government. It is collected by state government. Within state and union territory. Then IGST, that means International GST or Indian Goods and Service Tax. It is collected by central government. When will they collect? If the goods transfer from one state to another. One state to another state, IGST will be collected. State government collect SGST, central government will collect CGST. The central government collect if we transport our goods from, for example, from Tamil Nadu, if we are exporting something, if we are transferring something to Maharashtra or Uttar Pradesh or Jammu and Kashmir, whatever it may be, the other part of the country, we have to pay IGST. Then, what is sales tax, VAT and GST? Value added tax also we have studied, isn't it? VAT. So, what is the meaning for VAT, sales tax and GST? Sales tax, VAT and GST. Sales tax, multi-point. With cascading effect. Cascading means continuous. Multiple with cascading effect. Goes on, continuous, that is cascading. VAT is also multi-point without cascading. Let me explain you. And here GST also 1 point without cascading. Let me explain how it is multi-point with cascading. For example, the sale of raw material, there will be a tax. While he is producing and selling to the wholesaler, there will be a tax. Then retailer, there will be a tax. So, multi-point with cascading effect. Continuous and the tax it is going on shifting. So, it is multi-point with cascading effect. Here, it is multi-point without cascading. That I told value addition. For example, the raw material cost will be included in the producing. In the rendu cost சேர்ந்து it will given to the wholesaler. Raw material, producing cost, wholesale profits and retailer. Raw material, producer, wholesale, retail plus consumer. So it is continuous, it is adding. But here at the point of VAT, at the end of one stage, final stage, the tax will be added, it cannot be shifted. The point of tax which is added at the end of all the goods, it cannot be shifted. So, in VAT, they will not shift the tax. At one point, they will pay the value added, that's all. The tax amount will not be shifted. Here in GST, at the final only, final goods only, they are adding tax. So, there will be no cascading. Without cascading. Do you understand, girls? Then, advantages of GST. What is the advantage? Whether it is useful for countries like India. Advantages of GST. GST, it mainly remove the cascading effect on the sale of goods and services as we studied now. It will directly impact the cost of goods. So since tax on tax is eliminated in this regime, the cost of goods decreases. So tax for taxes, sales and VAT. Sales and VAT has tax for tax. But on the GST, it is eliminated. So the price will not increase. So the cost of the goods will decreases. But at the point of VAT and sales, the cost of the goods will increase because the tax amount and the profit will be added stage by stage. It was multi-pointed. Added, at last the price will be increased. But here the price will decrease because they are levying the tax at the only one point, that's on the final goods. In between there will be no tax. And then it is mainly technological driven. Technologically driven. What do you mean by that? All the activities like registration, return filing, application, refund, everything is done online. So there should be no evasion, no escapism, nothing will happen while we are levying the GST. Do you understand? It is not manual. They are technologically driven. So everything, the registration, the manufacturers, the final goods, the amount of final goods, stock and everything, refilling, everything is done only in the online. So we cannot escape from the GST, and this will also speed up the portal. So these are all the advantages of GST. Only two they have given. So one, the price will not increase, it decreases. The second one, it is technological improved. So with this, we will come to the end of today's class. The next class we will learn about public debt. So read the lesson, be thorough in it, try to get the correct meaning, girls. Thank you.